Air pollution is probably the oldest recognized pollution health hazard. Early wood-burning societies experienced terrible air quality. Given the long recognition of air pollution hazards, it's interesting that it was the more recent episodes in post-industrial U.S., the 1948 in Donora, Pennsylvania, and 1952 in London, England, that finally resulted in the recognition that air quality needed to be regulated. We've come a long way since then, and now our largest health benefit from environmental protection in general comes from cleaner air. These benefits are measured in terms of the reduction in lost days from work, hospital stays, health care costs, visibility, and the rates of asthma and chronic lung disease. If outdoor air pollution causes worries, we know that indoor air pollution is actually more dangerous to our health. While regulations have evolved to dramatically improve our health, no regulations exist for indoor